VSN Arcade Podcast.
Did I ever tell you what the definition of insanity is?
Minion! You're under fire with your face!
Not the smartest way to greet the heavily armed group that just kicked in your door.
Head to virtualsportsnetwork.com and sign up for the forums today.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another brand spanking new edition of the VSN Arcade Radio Podcast, number 94, sponsored by virtualsportsnetwork.com. Sign up for the forums today. All apologies to you fair listeners out there in podcast land. We know we've been gone and away for about a good couple of weeks now, but we are back. We are better than ever, and we're here to give you all the top gaming news out there that you have been wanting to hear. So without further ado, I am the one, the only, Mr. JayDizzle. And co-host for the evening, Mr. Producer Man himself, the one and only returning, Swarley. How you doing, man?
I suppose I can't complain.
Good to hear, good to hear. Why would you have any reason to complain? We're talking about gaming. We have E3 coming up in a couple of weeks. We got so many games that are coming out in this small time span. Why would anybody complain?
I have no idea. I'm extremely excited.
There you go. So don't complain, people out there. There are worse things in life. Maybe. I don't know. Anyways, before we get into it, you can follow us at capitalized letters VSN capitalized G in gaming. That's VSN Gaming on Twitter if you like to get the follow-ups, the news, the updates is when we're going to be putting up this podcast. Since we're recording it today, it should be up during the week, so don't worry. Also, we'll be up on iTunes, so we will have a link to it, I believe, on virtualsportsnetwork.com. Also through Twitter and stuff like that, and as well as on Podomatic. So click on the iTunes link, rate, follow us, subscribe to us, give us 5 stars, let us know what you think so we can improve the show, or if you just dig what we're doing, we'd love to hear from you. So without further ado, again, this is number 94 of the Virtual Sports Network Arcade Radio Podcast, and today we're going to start off with games we've played and also gaming pickups. So Swarley, since you're in the room here with me today via headset, I want to know what games you played recently.
Oh, what have I played recently? I've played Amazing Spider-Man 2 on the PlayStation 4. I've played MLB 14 The Show on PlayStation 4.
Sounds like a trend.
Played lots of Forza Motorsport 5 on the Xbox One.
Combo breaker.
And, I thought I fired my PS3 up, but I don't know what I played. Maybe I didn't play anything.
Just have old reminiscing thoughts of days gone by. Good times, good times. Okay, so I know you just said you were playing MLB The Show and Amazing Spider-Man. Those games just came out, so I'm guessing you're adding that to your gaming pickups list?
Those would be 2 of my recent purchases, along with I bought the latest Forza 5 car pack. I finally came out with a race car that I absolutely had to have, so I bought the pack for $9.99. Very excited about it. Yeah.
Jeez.
Well, it comes with 10 cars. So.
Another car, I guess, but still, that's like, damn. I don't know, man. I mean, it's you, and I know you have the Apex Racing League. You really dig car games, racing games, so I have no room to judge. I paid for hats for Borderlands 2. I almost have all of them now, all the DLC, so I have no room to complain. Do what you want with the money, man. If you dig it, go ahead.
Yeah, I definitely didn't buy the Season Pass because I haven't been impressed with most of their DLC so far. Car DLC, that is. So, yeah. Didn't do that, but, one comes around once in a while that I absolutely have to have.
Cool.
Some other purchases, I bought Child of Light on the PS4, as well as the Outlast Whistleblower DLC. And I haven't played either of them, saving those for this weekend.
Okay, so I'm looking forward to for next week. Okay, so let's see. Well, I would say, let's see, big old list of games I've played recently. I too have been playing MLB The Show 14 on my road to the show during my streams. I will pimp that out later on. Playing some Borderlands 2 with our good friend He Who Shall Not Be Named and Mrs. He Who Shall Not Be Named.
Oh, shit.
Big ups to those two. Let's see what else I've been playing recently. I have been playing Bound by Flame, which is pretty rad. I also have been playing a little bit of Child of Light. Let's see, on the big old list of things I've been playing recently. I got into Battlefield 4 of all things this past weekend. Thought that was pretty cool. We had some of the gang back together on that, even though we were playing on PlayStation 4, so we couldn't get everybody involved. But for the most part, me, Yo, He Who Should Not Be Named, a couple of brand names on Virtual Sports Network, some names from Foot Clan. It's a good get-together.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
I don't know why you'd forget about that. I put up videos, man, of me taking He Who Shall Not Be Named's tags.
Man, my Battlefield skills are plenty rusty since the old Battlefield 3 days.
I had noticed. Of course, everybody put the blame on you, even though when you finally joined up on a couple of maps, you were basically on the bottom because you had no kills and no deaths. You showed up, though. That's all that matters. You got a button for it.
I was even outscoring Twig some of the times, too, so...
Well, He Who Should Not Be Named, a.k.a. Twig, is a scrub, so there's that. Anyways, I guess you could basically add what I just said to the gaming pickups list. Bound by Flame. I have not played Amazing Spider-Man 2. Will not play that. However, I will be playing Child of Light this week. What else? MLB The Show 14. MLB 14 The Show. Very awesome. I think I bought a new hat for Krieg on Borderlands 2. That was like $1. So I have no right to complain about your $10 car purchase. What else did I buy? I think what was that one movie that Stallone and Schwarzenegger was in when they were trying to escape the prison? Was that literally called Prison Break?
Well, I have no idea what you're talking about.
It was like some Prison Escape, Prison Break, or something like that. It was one of the movies that you could find on in the PlayStation Network store, and it was under their 99-cent deal thing for the week. So I technically played that on the system, even though I rented it. But you play like a game, pretty much. You just start up with the buttons. Other than that, I got nothing. But yeah. So that's it for both of us, right?
I think so.
Okay, let's move along to reviews. I don't know if you want to go first or if I should go first with our games. I know you wanted to review The Amazing Spider-Man 2 from what you've been playing so far. Now I have the task of reviewing Child of Light. So do you want to go first or should I?
Go ahead.
Okay. Prefacing right now, I have not beaten Child of Light. I do not know the ending, but what I can promise you, fair viewer, is an opinion on the combat system, the artwork that's in the game, how the game plays, and basically, is it worth your money? And the answer to is it worth your money, if you dig RPGs that have a slight JRPG flavor to them, but not enough to dissuade you unless you're into that type of system, in which case you should more than come in and play it. If you dig the graphic and art system that was used from the previous Rayman games, Rayman Origins, Rayman Legends, they use that same software to build this game, and without spoiling like little details in the game, but as far as like artwork is concerned, like everything looks like it's painted in watercolor, and it looks awesome. If there's fine details, it looks like it's been run through with a fine tip pen. So you see like little outlines and everything else, but it's nothing that's so much intrusive as it is. You want to stop when you're playing and look at the artwork and see like there's stuff in the foreground and the background. You see like giants made out of stone, covered with moss, and I have like waterfalls falling over their shoulders. Like they look like they're part of the scenery, but at the same time, like you can see them quote unquote breathing. Like there's something in the background watching what you're doing. Very awesome stuff. They have floating air balloons, and they have buildings underneath that stuff too. It's got a very fairy tale-esque aesthetic to everything around it. As this game is basically an extended version of a child's fairy tale story. As you play, you're playing as a princess that dies mysteriously, and instead of just being sent to her death, she is shipped off to this fairy tale land where she has to figure out how to get back home to her father. So while she does this, as a basic overview of the story, she learns different powers, she gains different weaponry, how to equip herself to do better in combat. She meets others that you can help do the same with that. There's different enemy types. You can think of it as, in Pokemon terms, where there's like dark, there's light creatures, there's fire creatures, there's earth creatures, there's water creatures. Different enemy types that you have to mix and match your weaponry and your tactics in order to fight against them, because if you don't, you're going to get stopped. And because there's only 2 difficulties, in which there's normal, which should be really recalled to be renamed to be easy, and then there's hard, which should be this will kick your ass if you're not able to play this, or if you haven't run through the game on normal first. Because the way the combat system works is it's always an active time system, and there's like a bar on that bottom of the screen whenever you get into combat. And everybody has their turn. It's not like an active time system. You have your turn, your compatriots have their turn. They're also, whichever enemies you're facing off against, there could be 1, there could be 2, up to, I believe, 3, 4, depending on what boss battles you're in that I've seen so far. And you have to mix and match your stuff. And everybody has the opportunity to cast their own stuff, whether it's physical attacks, whether it's magical attacks, healing stuff. You can defend too. And there's always an opportunity at the end of this time bar at the bottom to interrupt stuff. So you can have like an instant attack that will interrupt your enemy in the middle of their attack. And then they have to go back to the back of the line. But if they hit you first, you got to do the same. So you kind of have to consistently juggle stuff as you're in the middle of combat. So other than that, again, I haven't beaten the game. I've gotten to the first sub-boss, and that was kind of hard. But in between the combat and the art style, you really get a sense of exploration in the game too, because you're always looking for unlocks, secret chests, floating orbs, and things like that you get to collect as you play. So you're always looking around like you would, searching for hidden areas like you would in Rayman, to go back to the art style and the art engine through that. So you're always looking for something new and something unique as you're playing along, because when you're not in the middle of combat, you're constantly either floating around or walking throughout the areas. There's like wooded areas, there's snowy areas, there's underground areas, temples. Anything you can think of is probably in this game. So, I pretty much said everything I can say about this game. Do you have any questions, though, Swarley?
No, but I'm excited to play it. I absolutely love that graphics engine. And from the moment I saw it, I knew I had to play it. Can't wait to sink my teeth into it this coming weekend.
Definitely. So you're talking about when they first announced the game, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, when I saw when they first announced this game, I was thinking, okay, well, this game's going to be digital, maybe physical, but it's going to be like discounted to like $40 maybe. And I saw that when it was under the PlayStation Network discount through PlayStation Plus, I think I got it for $15 or less just to pick it up digitally. That was awesome. And then it's on PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4. I think you can cross-play it through your Vita as well, so you can take it on the go. It's awesome. I can't not recommend it enough if you're looking forward to playing a game like this. I would definitely say look up on YouTube or whatever review sites that you want to look at, PipGI, Bond Movie, IGN. Look at their video reviews to get a definite sense of because to be more specific, either you have to play this game for yourself or you have to see this game in action in order to get a sense of what it is. Like, I can explain this game all day, but until you see it for yourself, you never will get a really true sense of what this game is. I can tell you it's awesome, but until you see it for yourself, you won't know. And that's easily said enough for any game, but this game in particular, because of the lack of, or just the minimum amount of advertisement for this game versus something like how Call of Duty Advanced Warfare is getting advanced advertisement, and the game's not even coming out until November. and they're already getting ads in May. And this game just came out, and other than some of the advertisements that we heard about before, I haven't heard a peep about this. Like it might have gotten like Game of the Month, but other than that, it's not getting Game of the Year, and it needs a lot more love. So go check it out. I highly recommend it, and I'll be playing a little bit more of it during one of my streams later on Twitch, so if you'd like to check that out, I think I'm playing it on Wednesday. I'll pimp it out a little bit later on, but definitely like to see for yourself or one of us playing it. I'll be doing that later on. So enough of me ragging on about Child of Light. I know you want to talk about Amazing Spider-Man 2, Swarley, so pimp that game to me if you like, or at least tell me why I shouldn't buy it.
Oh. Well, as we all know, Activision has put out 2 games now to go along with the Amazing Spider-Man movies. We've had a long history of movie tie-in games that have been terrible. So, of course, I'm sure the first Amazing Spider-Man game, didn't sell all that great. I picked it up. I think I heard somebody say that they liked it, and I ended up picking it up for like really cheap. And it was surprisingly good. I mean, the story and the voice acting were insanely terrible, but the gameplay was pretty much a copycat of the Arkham Batman games. Which, I mean, come on, if you're going to copy a gameplay, that's not a bad one to do. And yeah, the gameplay really saved that game, and it made it a lot of fun. So, of course, when they announced the second game, I figured, why not? Since it was in, it was in April, and it was kind of a drier month with games. I decided to pick it up, and I have to say that was kind of a mistake. Just about everything that I liked about the first game is nowhere to be seen in the second game. I will say that they made Manhattan quite a bit better. It looks better. There's more variety. It's just got a whole better feel to it. The web slinging when you're traversing Manhattan is 10 times better because Spider-Man actually has to have a building to shoot his web at to sling. And the first game, you could just fire it up into the air into the clouds, and it would, cling to something. Who knows what? But
shooting at birds.
It makes it a little more. Real's not the word I want because obviously people don't.
Gives you more of a realistic idea as to how he's swinging around with momentum and stuff like that.
Yeah. But that's kind of where the good stuff ends. I mean, some more decent things. The comic book collecting around New York is better because, I mean, again, New York feels better. It's got a better vibe. But, man, the gameplay, everything that made it good is just kind of half-assed this time around. You don't have the great fights that you did in the first game. I mean, again, I haven't quite finished the game yet, but I'm a long ways through it, and it's boring. The people that I fight are just completely boring. It's just like, go fight these gangsters, go fight these gangsters. And there's like no skill to it. It's just so boring. I mean, in the first game, you had all these different types of enemies to fight. You had to go about it tons of different ways. And it was a lot of fun. And to go along with that, the upgrades from the first game, there are tons of different upgrades for like your webs, your fighting style, and whatnot. And this game, they've just kind of taken it and just given you a few upgrades here and there that don't really matter. And it's really boring. And,
that's the second time you said boring about this game, about a comic book-based game / movie game about Spider-Man, one of the most famous and favorite Marvel superheroes ever, and you said boring twice. Is Beanox made another crappy game?
It is really freaking boring. And the graphics, they're pretty laughable. I mean, I have it on PlayStation 4, and even the next-gen versions, you wouldn't be able to pass these as decent graphics in the past couple years on Xbox 360, PlayStation 3. They're pretty bad. Yeah, I don't really know what to say about this game. It's not good. I mean, if you want to buy a game to sling around New York, collect comic books, and collect new... I will say another one of the decent things is how you go about getting alternative Spider-Man suits. Because you find these Russian mob hangouts, and you have to go about it stealthily. There's probably about 5 guys per hangout, and it's usually underground in the sewer systems. And that's the gameplay in there is pretty decent, but then I mean there's also a negative to it because I've got probably 3 new Spidey suits now, and they all kind of suck. I mean, instead of these absolutely ridiculous suits that just look completely idiotic, I'd like to have, some of Spidey's regular suits from over the years that have been, some of his more famous ones. I don't even know how to describe one of them. He's got, I don't know. It's really dumb. I've been wearing the regular suit from the game the entire time because they look so terrible.
For what I've seen through, I think I watched a video on YouTube to at least see the Spider-Man suits, because I know Neversoft is not responsible for these games, but just playing Spider-Man video games in the past on Genesis, PlayStation, all these other systems, I always wanted to see the new costumes. And they always seem to have the black symbiote suit as DLC. It's never really a part of the game itself. They especially did this for Lego Marvel, or unless you play as Venom or something like that on Separation Anxiety on the Genesis game. It always seems to me that they pick out a Spider-Man suit as a certain moment in time that should be important in the Spider-Man canon, but because they consistently reboot the story over and over and over again, rather it was the Ultimates Spider-Man storyline, rather it was I think it was it's not Crisis. It's like a cataclysmic event, Spider-Man suddenly gained Captain Universe's powers, or he got the Iron Spider suit from Tony Stark, or the Big Time suits, or something else. It was always supposed to be something important in the Spider-Man storyline, but because this is based off the movie, we are made to believe this stuff happened to Peter Parker, but another Peter Parker in a different timeline. But because this is a Spider-Man game, I guess Beanox was made to put these suits in because it was obviously they had the iconic Spider-Man suit and the Spider-Man suit that was in the movie, but there has to be more. There's some unlockable for people who are big fans of the series itself and the hero himself. You want to see this character, but and these different costumes. But the same token is the kid that plays Peter Parker in these movies hasn't met Tony Stark, hasn't done the Big Time or One More Day storyline, hasn't gotten Captain Marvel's powers, hasn't gotten the Iron Spider suit, hasn't done any of these things. But they're in there, and they kind of coyly explain. The Iron Spider suit. But other than that, they have the Spider-Man suit from Superior Spider-Man. Technically Superior Spider-Man, if you're really thinking about it with the whole storyline thing, the Amazing Spider-Man, they shortened down the Superior Spider-Man storyline, so we would get Peter Parker back for Amazing Spider-Man 2. But Peter Parker hasn't met Doc Ock yet in the movies. run this little reboot movie thing. So it's just like, it makes sense for comic book fans and people who are following series, but for people who are just watching these movies and this is their Spider-Man, shit doesn't make any sense. Why isn't it in the game?
And that kind of brings me to another point. These games have to step around the movies so much that they don't really make sense. You can't really get a decent story out of it because they have to tie in, yet they can't step on, what the movie's doing or what future movies are doing. So it's just kind of there just to be there, and it doesn't really work on the story front. It'd be really nice if we could get, a Spider-Man game that was, just by itself, and the developer got to choose, what storyline that they wanted to cover. The movie thing just really isn't working for them.
And especially since it's based off the Fox licensing of Spider-Man, like, you'll never see him. Maybe he'll talk to the Fantastic Four, maybe, but he's not going to talk to the Avengers. He's not going to talk to anybody else in the Marvel Universe because there's nobody to talk to.
Which would be so awesome.
Like, literally, the only times that Spider-Man has actually interacted with the Marvel Universe is actually in the comic books, and the other games that aren't tied to the Fox license. And I think the most recent one was Lego Marvel Superheroes.
Oh, I loved him in Lego Marvel.
Yeah, but he never shows up in the Avengers movie, but it still kind of ties it into the Avengers movie. It doesn't make any fucking sense. It's like Spider-Man is the one hero that is like the most famous almost out of all the Marvel superheroes, other than like Wolverine and some of the X-Men.
Yeah.
And they're just because Fox has a license, they have to treat him as, he would exist and he would be awesome in these movies, but he kind of can't. And I understand the whole multiple universes thing, going back to the whole Ultimate thing, and I'm getting super nerdy about this, I do apologize.
We're on a video games podcast.
I know.
I think it's okay.
Keep it together.
No, I'm just saying we're already nerdy.
I understand that, but super nerdy. Kind of a Spider-Man fan, but not like super Spider-Man fan, but you kind of can guess that. Anyways, I was trying to get to before, I understand the whole different universes type of thing, and how this Spider-Man can exist in his own universe and not have to interact with other Avengers. But goddamn, I kind of wish he could, because his rogues gallery. I mean, in this game, what do they got? They got Shocker, Vulture, Kraven, Green Goblin. They might have a hint or two of Doc Ock.
Yeah, they do.
I haven't heard if Rhino's in the game or not. Is he?
I have not come across him. I swore I saw him during like a trailer or something, back before the game release, but I haven't come across him.
Yeah, so he doesn't have his full rogues gallery yet. And yet they expect people to play this game like, well, this is the movie game, but at the same token, it's just like, you want... Phoenix is being torn between, we have to stay true to the material and maybe flesh around different things, because Shocker's not in the movie, but he's in this game. And he's not really a Shocker, but technically he is. And then they have to skate around this whole, well, Spider-Man is part of a bigger universe, but we can't really talk about it. But we can put up the costumes on it, because everybody likes new costumes. Again.
Yeah, I mean, it's just weird because they don't... Because, a lot of times when you get movie tie-in games, the game is the same thing as the movie. But here they're trying something else, and it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I will say you'll get some better fights later in the game. But like I said earlier, it's just not the same as the first game, where you're getting some awesome battles throughout the entire thing. Whether it was thugs or bosses or whatnot, but this game is just, go beat up some thugs over here, and for 2/3 of the game, and it's just blah. So I would say, if you want to play a recent Spider-Man game, don't pick up this one and go pick up the last one for PS3 or 360.
Go play Spider-Man Web of Shadows.
Or pick up Ultimate Marvel Alliance.
That Ultimate Spider-Man was pretty good too. It had MPH as the voice. And they had Ultimate Deadpool in there too. So they have Drake's voice in there. Nolan North's in that game. It's pretty good. It really just seems like any new Spider-Man game they put out there, other than the Ultimate Edition and anything else, where Spider-Man's not the main attraction of the game, but he's part of the main storyline. Those are the good games. When he's by himself, and especially if it's a movie tie-in game, it's bad.
I mean, Activision's got this license, and they also have Transformers, which they've had to do movie games for Transformers, but they've also done some really great games for that franchise that aren't tie-ins to the movies, and they've been fantastic. They need to do that with Spider-Man. Get some games out there that aren't movie games.
I would say with the Transformer games, they really have the benefit of the extended Transformers universe, as well as they can tie it into the comics and the television series if they like to. They don't have to, but there's a lot of backstory that you could put into the Transformers series. And you can bring in Transformers from different generations whenever you want, because it's basically selling the toys. Spider-Man is Spider-Man, and he's on everything. And you could buy him in almost like lunchboxes, Spider-Man masks, toys, things like that. But at the same token, it's just like, you pimp out Spider-Man, here's hoping Spider-Man's good, and Amazing Spider-Man 2 is not good. So they failed on that part. And all we have to look forward to is Amazing Spider-Man 3, if not Sinister 6, Venom getting his own movie, and then hopefully Fox just says fuck it, and then Disney/Marvel picks up the license and makes their own Spider-Man
Disney.
game.
God, I want Spider-Man in the Marvel Cinematic Universe so bad.
He's in the fucking Disney Infinity games.
Oh,
the Marvel, the Marvel DLC that's coming out, or the new, I guess Disney Infinity 2.0. He's in those games, so technically he's in the Marvel Universe, but
that's weird.
Not in this game. He's the one question mark that shouldn't be a question mark, but because he's part of the Fox license, he's boned.
Oh, he's Sony.
Sony license, my bad.
Yeah.
I keep saying Fox, I apologize.
X-Men and Fantastic Four Fox.
Thank you for correcting me.
I don't even know why I thought of that.
I'm glad you did. All those angry letters would be sent. Anyways, speaking of angry letters, let's move it on. I'm sure a lot of people are like, stop talking about Spider-Man 2. I apologize. Let's talk about MLB 14, because we both played it. What'd you think about it?
You know, it plays like your typical MLB The Show. I don't know if I want to go into the negatives first, but, I mean, unfortunately, since you're co-developing, both generations at the same time, this is the first iteration on the new gen, you're not really going to get something completely different from what you've been playing the past couple of years. But, I mean, it looks better on the new gen consoles. I can't get over how well the crowd looks. They've updated to, I think they said 1,000 different people models in the crowd, and the crowd looks absolutely fantastic, and it's added a lot to the game. Makes it a whole lot better experience when you're in a big stadium and you've got those people there. I have come across kind of an annoying glitch. It's graphical. Every once in a while when I'm playing in Road to the Show, one of the games will load up and the dirt is black. It's just like nothing exists there. And you can't really play the game like that, so I'll have to quit that game and, load my next one, so that kind of sucks, but I mean, the gameplay's great. It's still MLB The Show. It's still one of your best sports games out there, if not the best. I've really enjoyed that they've taken out goals for Road to the Show. Because, you had to do, in previous games, those goals made you do a lot of things that maybe weren't really towards your type of player that you were wanting to make. and just kind of got to be a nuisance. But here, without those, you can sculpt your player to the type of player that you want him to be, and it makes that that early experience a whole lot better. So yeah, I mean, you're not going to get an amazing new ridiculous experience, but it's still a damn good game. And who wouldn't want the new gen version?
Definitely. I can say from my personal experience of the show franchise, going back from like PlayStation 3 till now, with this iteration of the series, I am a casual sports fan. For any sport. I'm a fantasy football guy. I'm not war guy. I'm not real statistician guy. You know, I kind of pay attention to stats here and there for like fantasy purposes again, but not like super diehard guy. So for a game like this to allow me to, and what I'm doing this year as I'm streaming this again, I'm trying to learn the game of baseball personally. Like I know the basic stuff. There's a batter, there's a pitcher, you have infield, you have the outfield, center field, right field, left field, stuff like that. You have 9 innings, obviously, 3 outs, things like that. I get the basic stuff, but everything that includes what exactly is a double play. If there's like a 3-2-5 play, what the hell does that mean? I don't know if that actually exists. Does it exist? Okay, cool. I want to know what that means. So when I see it and I'm able to perform that on screen, that teaches me something about the game. Because normally with my schedule right now, in between recordings, these podcasts, with working, with streaming, I have no time to watch a real baseball game. So to have a game like this that is intricate enough to where if I really want to get deep into running my own baseball team through Dynasty mode, rather just playing as my own created player and playing throughout his entire career through Road to the Show, or doing something like Diamond Dynasty, I believe it's called, with the fantasy cards, right?
Yeah.
Fantasy cards. Do something like that, like what they do with the Madden Ultimate Team, but with baseball. And I could build my own team with these cards and trade them and play against other people. I could do that too. And they also have, if I don't have enough time to play a full game, they have the weekly challenge now. And the cool thing about the weekly challenge is you play as one character in one instance of a game. You have a score, you have a time limit in some instances, but it's not a full game. So if I want to play a little bit of baseball, but not like a full game, I have that. And it's also interconnected with a prize system. So whoever has the best score, best time during the week sends it in, wins the contest. You get like a signed jersey, signed other bits of memorabilia. I think they had like signed baseballs, signed bats, more jerseys. I think one person won a ticket to go see playoff series at one point, I believe. They have cool stuff like that. That brings casual people like me in to play this game. It gives me incentive to say either I could just play baseball or I'm going to get rewarded no matter what when I play this. There's always a reward system. Like we wrote the show, there's always a reward system. Rather than not, you do really, really, really good at one game, or if you're like me and your player is kind of iffy, you can do really, really bad, but they'll still give you points to build yourself up and improve. There's always improvements, there's always rewards. That's awesome for a game like this. So, I like, you said something about the graphics itself. Like, I never had the graphical glitch of the dirt on the field being, like, pitch black, like nothing was there. I did have a problem with the reflections that they have on the helmets. Like, it's supposed to be shining and, like, white depending on where the stadium lights or the sun is hitting them. Like, I always see something where it's, like, blue, or I think one time it was black. So everything that had, like, a reflection, or everything that was supposed to come from a light source was either blue or black. So, like yourself, I had to restart the game, I come back, and it's fine. So little things like that don't really bother me, but at the same token, it's like, if I want to stream this game, I don't want to see stuff like this, but at the same time, like, I don't see it quite often enough to where it's a detriment towards playing this game whenever I want and showing it off. Because I want to show this off. This looks pretty fucking badass. So, I can't recommend it enough if you want to play the game of baseball, want to learn the game of baseball, or pick up a game that you can play with your buddies. And if you've dug the series so far, it's more of the same, but up-resed on next-gen for PlayStation.
Yeah, I mean, it's first year on the new-gen consoles, so, I mean, like I said before, you shouldn't expect some completely revamped experience.
They were really pushing it as that, though.
Yeah, that'll likely come next year when they've had more development time with the new console, but... I mean, it's still one of your best sports games out there, and if you enjoy baseball, I definitely recommend it.
Yeah. Go pick it up if you have the money. Go do it. Do it now. Anyways, do we have any more to talk about from VSN 14, or you want to talk about more about it next week?
I think I'm good to go.
Okay. Well, if you want to hear more about MLB 14, the show. We have plenty of streamers on Virtual Sports Network who are streaming their own Road to the Show series. Our good buddy Handle It is doing his own, I believe, with Benny the Jet Rodriguez from The Sandlot, which is pretty cool. Who else is doing it? Swarley's doing his. I'm doing mine. I think they're doing a couple leagues as well, which is kind of cool. Not as many as there used to be on PlayStation 3. Unfortunately, since this is a Sony game, another topic I kind of want to get around, there's no real games, baseball-wise, for the Xbox or PC. It's just this. Do you see that as a problem?
Not for me.
Not for us, of course.
I mean, it's not like 2K was putting out any type of decent product anyways. Their game has been pretty shit for a good handful of years. And, you know, it kind of sucks because they had the third-party exclusive license. Hopefully, now that that's expired, maybe EA will get back into the game. They used to have a great series that was a fan favorite with MVP. So, I mean, hey, good for Sony because I'm sure this game has sold some consoles. But I'm sure at some point somebody else will enter the third-party game.
I know there were... like Major League Baseball on Xbox 360, right?
What?
And I think it was like Major League Baseball for 360. Like the MLB tried to put out their own version or an up-res version of like Major League Baseball.
RBI?
Yeah, RBI Baseball. That's what I was trying to get at. Thank you.
Yeah,
that was supposed to be the alternative, and that turned into fucking mush. There is no alternative for baseball. If you want to play MLB 14, either get it on your old gen system on PlayStation 3 or buy yourself a PlayStation 4. Which kind of sucks, but, you know. Like you said before, if you want to buy a system for this game, get it up-res. So, anyways, enough about MLB 14. Time for the news. Swarley, you have a big list here today. What should we start on?
You know, I say we talk about the big news that just came out, which is the Kinect-less Xbox One.
Okay, so Kinect-less Xbox One. Is this supposed to be like a rumor for E3, or was this recently announced through Microsoft for like a price reduction of the Xbox One?
Yeah, this was announced this morning. They are going to start selling bundles. I mean, it'll basically be like how the 360 was at the end of the gen. They'll have regular Xbox One bundles. It's just, you know, controller, console, and then they'll have bundles with console, controller, and Kinect. And the Kinect-less bundle will be $399 now, same price as the PlayStation 4.
Okay. Well, we both knew that this was coming, obviously, because Microsoft was big into we need to cut something out in order to compete with PlayStation. And we aren't talking about games, we're not talking about content, we're talking about actually selling systems. Because other than North America, maybe some sections of Europe, they aren't really selling anywhere else. So they really needed to find a way to lower the price for this thing, and it happened to be getting rid of the Kinect. Have you read anything as to how this affects some of the other companies that were kind of force-fed the Kinect and saying, well, you need to integrate the Kinect into your game. You need to do this voice command, visual commands through the camera itself. It has to have this integration, and now all of a sudden they just kind of back off on that. Do you feel like this affects companies now to the point where they might have an option turned off, or sometime in the future where companies can now say, well, we want to put our game on your system, but we don't want to have to use Kinect. Now that you're selling it Kinect-less, we don't have to do it if you want our game on your system? Do you feel that kind of effect on the Xbox One itself, or you feel like Microsoft's going to say, well, you still need to put the Kinect on your games, just,
I don't feel that it'll negatively impact anything. I mean, from what I've seen, it hasn't been, hugely integrated with gaming. I mean, the console itself and, the UI is definitely made for the Kinect, because there's so many things that are just buried that are, it's kind of a pain in the ass to navigate without the Kinect, which I'm sure they'll revamp now. But gaming-wise, I haven't seen anything that's, made the Kinect a worthwhile accessory for gaming itself, and I just don't feel that anybody really, developer-wise, I just don't think that anybody really cares. So, I know there's some people that like to Kinect for the voice command stuff, which, it's great for the UI, but again, I haven't really seen it being integrated into games, so I don't see the downfall here.
Okay. Well, how do you feel about now that the Xbox One is the same price as the PlayStation? You feel like they're going to be able to move more units?
Yeah, I think I think it was a necessary thing. It definitely helps to have it on the same price, because everybody saw at the beginning of last generation when Sony was insane with their pricing, that $600 console, and they fell behind early, and now Xbox One was $100 more, and they fell behind early, and putting it on the same price point is definitely going to help out. But again, a lot is still going to rely on E3 this year and them coming out with some games that are exclusive. Because even when they bundled Titanfall for free with Xbox One, it still didn't sell like they were hoping to. So now that it's on the same price point, get some games out there, and then I think that gap will not keep growing.
I'm hoping that, because obviously competition breeds good content, and now that the Xbox One is down in price, Microsoft can focus on, I'm not going to say putting out good games, because they put out good games so far, but now they can really focus on not having to worry about, well, we can't put out our console and compete with the PlayStation because it's $100 more because of a camera brick that has to be really, really integrated with our system, or else it doesn't really work. We don't have to worry about that now. We're on an even playing field, even though we're kind of behind a little bit, but we still have our loyal fan base from the Xbox 360 and Microsoft fan base. So we know that we can put out games like a Halo. Destiny's coming out. That's going to be multi-platform. We can put more content out for Forza. Maybe a new Forza game coming out. We have stuff coming out for E3 that we love to share. Sunset Overdrive's coming out.
Oh, that game looks so good.
Yeah. The future is bright for Xbox and the Xbox One, Microsoft family. They just have to figure out, okay, we're on even playing fields. We have decent third-party stuff, even though people are bitching and complaining about the pixel count. But really, if you have one system or another and you want to play a specific game, you're not really going to care about the pixel count unless it's like 720 versus 1080. If you're stuck with that shit, okay, that sucks. But if it's like 900 and something versus 1080, like on Ghost, then if you really wanted to play Ghost, you're gonna play fucking Ghost. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, level playing field is a big start. Now, it can just come down to content. Gamers don't have to go, well, this console's a shit ton cheaper, so I'm gonna go with it.
Yeah, just don't do like Nintendo's doing and put out the same old shit every single year. Even though Nintendo does put out good quality polished games, it's still the same characters, the same stories, the same content every single year. Put out something first party that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, unfortunately we know we'll still get God of War and or Gears of War and Halo at E3, but
anything's better than fucking Gears of War Judgment?
Oh god. But like I said, Sunset Overdrive looks fucking awesome. So
yeah,
I'm excited to see what they bring to the table.
Yeah. And another thing, the Kinect's not dead. They still have the option of the Kinect, and everybody that bought their system with the Kinect, or anybody else that would have the option to later on down the line, yeah, they can get an Xbox One now, but later on during Christmas month, the Kinect's going to sound like fucking hotcakes. I guarantee it, because they're going to put out games, or they're going to put out announcements through E3 saying, okay, well, we still have Kinect integration. Look at all the cool shit you can do with the Kinect, if you have it, versus just playing the game without it, or playing games that are going to have, like, stupidly awesome motion sensory type of stuff. And then they could keep on bringing up, like, if you want to do stuff like Netflix, if you want to talk to people via Skype, they're going to probably bring up and review yet again, hey, you don't have to use the remote, and hey, you don't have to slug through our shitty UI system with your controller, so you can just talk to the Xbox One Kinect. We have this shit. Sony's PlayStation 4 kind of has voice connection capabilities, but it's not the same as ours. They can improve. They can invent new stuff. They can put out games that are going to be awesome, like Sports Friends for PlayStation 4. A lot of it's move-centric type stuff, and a lot of it's local multiplayer. What can you do with that with a Kinect? Can you do something like that? Can you integrate stuff with multiplayer? I mean, there might be a little bit of lag time here and there between yourself playing against other people, but what do they have? The Kinect Sports Champions thing that's coming out? Or has come out?
Yeah.
Do something like that. You're not tied down to the Kinect box, but in the same token, it's still there. It's still viable technology. Do something with it. And if you don't want to, you still got the Xbox One. You still got infinite possibilities. And your stock is still a hell of a lot better than the Wii U. So there's always that improvement. But you don't want to be number 2 if you're Microsoft. Right now they're number 2 when it comes to the current-gen consoles. So what are they going to do in E3? Who knows? I'm very excited about it. Anyways, we're going to move along. Speaking of exciting things, it says here on your notes on the news that Rockstar Games is working on a game for this year. What's that about?
Yeah, they had Take-Two had a conference call on Tuesday, which we're recording is today. I'll just say May 13th. And it was noted that Rockstar has a game in development that is scheduled to release this fiscal year, which is between now and the end of March 2015. There was really no indication on what the game was, which Rockstar Studio is working on it, or even if they would be at E3 to show the game off or anything, but hey, we've got a Rockstar game coming. And
what do you think it is?
It's for new. It specifically said for the new gen consoles.
Think it's Bully 2?
Honestly, the safe bet would be Grand Theft Auto 5. It could be something like Red Dead 3, although my gut says no on that one. It's been a while since we've heard anything about Agent, and that's still up on their website. It could be that. Those are probably your best 3 bets. My personal preference would be a new Midnight Club. I would die for a new Midnight Club game. But yeah, I think your safest bet is going to be Grand Theft Auto 5.
Table tennis too.
Yeah, I would buy that in a heartbeat.
Austin Powers sequel. That's not movie tied for the Game Boy Advance. I think they made that game. I don't know. I'm cool with up-res Grand Theft Auto 5 and having the proper amount of people online at the same time. Same token, I'd like to see something new. Red Dead was a revelation. Sorry for the alliteration. Bully was awesome. When they did the Warriors, that was fucking awesome. Obviously, the handheld stuff that they've done is pretty cool. But give me something new and inventive, and not just something where you just fucking around to show off the engine like you did with table tennis. Give me something, maybe something that's not of the criminal element. Like, I know Rockstar has been priding itself, even with like LA Noire, there's still that criminal element. Rockstar has always given themselves the reputation of, you're not playing the good guy. There's always a criminal element to your actions. And either you solve those problems or you cause those problems. And you get rewarded for that. Or you die. One of the two. It's a fictionalized, hyper-realistic view on the criminal lifestyle. I want to see if Rockstar can do something different with an up-res engine, or a bigger engine, or a new engine. Show me something that I know you guys can do, but something new. Like you're saying before with Midnight Club, something like that. But maybe, I don't know, do a kart racer. Something. Or an RPG. I mean, they have managed to get top talent from multiple character actors, multiple movie stars all the time for their games. It's always awesome. Do an RPG and bring in big name actors. Get fucking Samuel L. Jackson back. Have him voice the main character. How fucking awesome would that be? Do something like that. But don't give me another Grand Theft Auto. I want to see something new.
I have to say, I don't think we'll get anything that is brand new. If we do get a new IP, I think it'll be the Agent game.
That game's dead.
I don't think. Well, I mean, it's still. They still have it on their website.
That game's deader than The Last Guardian.
Well, that is a topic of conversation in a coming topic. So, I just, if they are still working on that, I just don't see them working on multiple brand new IPs because they're going to have to work on Red Dead and Grand Theft Auto. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what it is whenever they announce it. They're not big on E3. So, who knows if...
Give me a space game, man. Something. I don't know. I can't wait to see what they're going to show this year. But, I don't know. I want to believe in Rockstar. But like I said before, I want to see something new. I don't want to see something that, just because you had your hands on newer technology in order to up-res your stuff, doesn't mean you're making something new. It just means that you're making something look better. That's it. Like, we saw Tomb Raider, and we saw an up-res version of a lot of the new release games when consoles came out, like Lego Marvel and stuff like that. That also had a PlayStation 3 look. Assassin's Creed 4. Everything looks great when it's up-res graphics, but it's still the same core of game. I just want to see something new. And not an up-res Grand Theft Auto 5. But that's just my opinion. I'm almost up. What's this I hear about Watch Dogs stuffs with a Z?
We keep getting a shit ton of Watch Dogs videos and stuff, and That game is just around the corner. It's, I know a lot of people were kind of down on it after the delay, which, in my opinion, if your game's not ready, don't push it out. So, I can't blame them for that. Everybody thought that this game was going to be a, modern setting for Assassin's Creed, but, the more gameplay stuff comes out, it looks more and more like a darker, more technology-focused GTA type game. I don't want to say it's GTA, because it's definitely not, but that type of open world game, So there's numerous videos out there that Ubisoft has just flooded us with over the past couple weeks. Get your butts out there and watch them, because they look pretty awesome, and I can't wait to get my hands on the game. In 2 weeks from today, I think.
Yeah. I find it funny that everybody has been waiting for this game. Like, we've been waiting for this since it was supposed to be a launch title. And they delayed it, and they delayed it, and they delayed it for obvious reasons. To polish stuff up, they went back and they fixed some things, made some new stuff, created some more DLC probably. It just seems like to me that they feel like we forgot about the game that basically everybody's been waiting to buy their next-gen systems for. Literally, people have not bought the Xbox One or the PlayStation 4 or, new parts for their PC waiting on this new game. Like, literally, everybody's been waiting for this game that's ever heard about it. And I feel as though Ubi has put out these videos thinking that, Wolfenstein's come out, Child of Light's come out, Bound by Fire's come out, MLB 14's come out, Amazing Spider-Man 2 just come out, Wolfenstein's coming out soon. All these different games are coming out in the near future, if not soon enough, and they're thinking, like, everybody forgot about Watch Dogs. No, we haven't. We've been waiting all this time. We've been purchasing games like Amazing Spider-Man 2, like Bound by Flame, wanting that new killer app game that isn't quite there, and this is supposed to be the killer app, and they're so pressured as to, we want everybody's focus and attention on us, but we don't want this to fail. So we want everybody to know exactly what's going on in this game without having you actually play a demo first. But at the same token, I feel like all this overexposure, and we probably talked about it beforehand on previous podcasts. We've heard about it on previous news scamming sites, things like that. You've heard me talk about them previously on this podcast. The overexposure on this game is so much that people have actually started to, if not openly, hated this game. Or openly disliked this game because there's so much attention being placed on Watch Dogs that because it hasn't come out yet and they haven't had their own personal opinion swayed on them playing on this, that they're just hearing about this brand new thing that's supposed to be super and awesome, and they're just like, well, I don't care anymore. I've heard about this game over and over again. I don't even have to play anymore. I know what's going on with the game without even having to look at the story. I know what's going on. I pretty much pieced together whatever story I'm going to come together with this in my head, and I'm just like, I feel a general malaise about this game. Like, okay, well, I don't even care if the game comes out now. There's more stuff that's coming out in the near future. Wolfenstein's coming out. Fucking E3's coming up soon, so all the new shit's coming out. The brand new stuff, so we don't have to worry about Watch Dogs. I figure even that's on the second point. They're so worried about E3 coming up and how this game was supposed to come out and just take over everything this entire year that now they're playing catch up and they're trying to put this out right before E3 to make sure that everybody remembers about this big brand new thing that's been in process for 2, 3, 4, 5 years now. And they're afraid like E3 is just going to overshadow this game. And everybody's just going to forget about Watch Dogs. Again, allegedly one of the killer apps of the entire current generation, and it's going to be forgotten because the new stuff's coming out soon. And they're not ready.
Well, if it's good, that won't happen, because even last year with all the exciting talk about the new gen stuff, The Last of Us was still a huge hit that came out the week of E3, so if it's good, that won't happen.
I feel as though the up-res version of not Watch Dogs, but the up-res version of The Last of Us has gotten the right amount of hype. And that is another up-res version of a game. And yet, Watch Dogs is this brand new IP, and it's not getting, or it's already gotten the proper hype, and now it's being slowly but surely just downgraded. And it's supposed to be this killer app thing, and it's supposed to be awesome, and unless it just blows off everybody's fucking socks and gets 10 pluses across the board, it's going to be seen as a failure.
I don't even care if it's 7. I'll still play it and probably enjoy it.
Yeah, like, we as gamers, and I'm sure everybody that listens to this podcast, and those who are still gamers out in the world, are going to play this game. This is the brand new shit. This is what everybody's going to play. Online or offline or whatever. It's a new thing. They're going to play it. But I don't think it's going to be at the same clip that Ubi was. So, I don't know. We'll have to see when the game comes out. 2 weeks or so. So hopefully it's just 2 weeks and they don't push it back. Because if they do, they're fucked and they might as well just throw it all away. Or discount it to like $20 and hope for the best.
Well, they've already gone to print by now, so I think we would have heard something.
Definitely. Oh, and the DLC for that game, especially if you get it on PlayStation versus Xbox, that sucks. A lot of this stuff, like this is one of the only games that Sony is going to get all the cool stuff first for, and that sucks for everybody else that's stuck on Xbox One or PC. They have to wait for that shit. Even though some of the stuff like new guns and a new clothing style for Aiden is pretty shitty. But still, there's some stuff that really deserves to be there for everybody, and they're going to have to wait.
Yeah, but we've PlayStation players have been on the short end of that stick in other games like Call of Duty and Battlefield, so...
Yeah, but if you're not a shooter fan, that doesn't really affect you, though.
It happens. Ubisoft's been Sony loyal for a while now, so...
Can't wait for that Uplay shit. It's going to be awesome. Anyways, speaking of E3, since I've been going on and on about it, apparently there was a rumored Sony E3 presser that was recently leaked. Allegedly. What's that about?
Yeah, again, take this with a big grain of salt, because obviously we won't know until we see the E3 conference themselves. But a lot of this was backed up by a trusted insider, so, I mean, who knows? But, yeah, I mean, it basically just spilled all the beans on, what Sony's coming with, and what their entire press conference is going to be. First off, there was something about Uncharted, the new PlayStation 4 game. It will show, I think it was like a 3-minute video. Let me make sure that's correct. 3-minute trailer. It showcases in-game footage. There will be some gameplay clips here and there. It's supposed to be insanely pretty graphically, which, if you've played Naughty Dog games before, you wouldn't be surprised at all. And it will supposedly feature a tropical setting and different time periods with both Nathan Drake and Sir Francis Drake, which will be quite interesting. Further, Media Molecule will be at the presser. They've got a game that they're working on that goes with the Project Morpheus VR headset. It's a 3D world-building game. Obviously, Project Morpheus isn't ready yet. That's still well in development. So, I mean, this would probably just be a short, maybe a little footage. But let's see, what else is there? Supposedly, Polyphony Digital will be there. Gran Turismo 6 will come to the PS4 with 1080p 60 frames per second, and it will be packaged as Gran Turismo 7 Prologue.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, Prologue definitely has a bad name.
Yeah, no shit.
Because of GT5's Prologue, which was Yeah, but I mean,
demos.
if they were to give us the entire Gran Turismo 6 game as GT7 Prologue, that wouldn't be terrible because that's a lot of content, which was my big thing with GT5 Prologue was there was a big lack of content. So I mean, take it for what you will. The not surprising news: God of War 4 will be there. Which, you know, we all read about the people who were let go at Sony Santa Monica and their new IP that was canceled. So, I mean, I would have rather gotten a new IP instead of the 36th God of War, but that's just me. Sony Bend, who is known for Siphon Filter and the Uncharted game Golden Abyss that was on the Vita. They will be there with a AAA title, and it will be a new Siphon Filter game. And the trademark that was filed by Sony for Killstrain is supposedly related to the new Siphon Filter game. What else? Wipeout is coming to the PlayStation 4. It sounds like it is a new Wipeout game. There isn't anything here on who's developing it. Could be Sony London. Quantic Dream supposedly has something prepared. But on this leak, it is unsure if it's going to be E3 or if it's going to be saved for Gamescom. Who else is going to be there? Ready at Dawn will be there, of course, with the Order 1886. The leak says that this game is going to have a big stage demo. So that, I mean, that wouldn't be surprising at all. Because this game's coming out this year. I'm sure there'll be a big segment on it. I'm excited to see what they've got. What else is important? Guerrilla Games will be there with their new RPG. Says it's really pretty, provocative setting. You know, RPGs, bring them on. I love RPGs. Sucker Punch will be there with Infamous Second Son DLC, which, you know, that game is my favorite so far of the year, so I would be very excited about that. Says they will display new powers and possibly even a new setting. So yeah, it'll be interesting. The last DLC that we got for Infamous was completely
garbage.
You know, I loved Festival of Blood. But, I mean, it was an alternate reality. So it'll be interesting to see if Second Son DLC will be, you know, kind of that same thing, or if they'll just continue the story of Delson, or what'll happen. Who knows? But Sony Japan Studios will be there. They will show off 2, maybe even 3 games.
Please let it be deep down.
Project Beast. It says is a spiritual successor to Demon Souls. The other is The Last Guardian, which has been retooled for the PlayStation 4. And it says even possibly a winter 2014 release. But personally, I couldn't give a rat's ass about this game. I've never gotten into the hype that it seems like 95% of the gaming community has. But, you know, if it does happen, cool. I'm not holding my breath because I don't care.
It doesn't like Falcor.
If Sony Japan does show up with a third title, they're keeping it under wraps. What else? Sony Evolution will be there with Drive Club, which, you know, they gotta spin the PR on that game big time.
Oh, did you hear about Drive Club?
What about it? There's been like 36 things.
Okay, apparently, this is not breaking news, but apparently the PlayStation Plus version that was supposed to come with launch with the title, right? If you get on PlayStation Plus and you upgrade, I guess there's going to be like a fee or something like that where you upgrade your PlayStation Plus version to the full version.
$50.
Yeah, like if you decide to let your PlayStation Plus lapse for whatever reason, if you upgraded, you get to keep the game.
Yes.
So all that PlayStation Plus content isn't going to go away. You get the full game.
Yeah.
So
And that was when they first came out with something, that was with the PlayStation Plus upgrade thing, there was kind of a huge confusion and people were kind of freaking out, and so they came and, settled that, which is nice.
Yeah. Because, we've been waiting on that fucking game forever, and they pretty much scrapped it and had to make a new one, and now they're just like, well, everybody put their money towards this thing. You're not totally boned, so here you go. Please don't yell at us.
I mean, they picked... First off, it's coming out in October. Secondly, they picked October 7th, which is going to be one of the most insane release days in gaming history, because you've got Dragon Age Inquisition, you've got Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor, you've got Alien Isolation. I think there may have even been another game that was announced for that date. But, I mean, that's insane. And then to put Drive Club out, which is kind of more of a niche game, that's just stupid. And
so I'm basically going to be poor in October. Is that what you're telling me? I get to look forward to that?
Yeah.
Fuck.
But, I mean, personally for me, Project Cars is coming out a month later. I don't really have a reason to purchase Drive Club anymore.
But you can get in a club and drive with people.
Yeah. I mean, I'll play the PS Plus version, but now with it being right there with a huge driving game, I don't feel the need to spend any money on it.
Oh, ye of gentle car porn, with all the different details that they're slamming into this game to make the cars so realistic that if they got any more realistic, you could actually step into them and drive them yourself, alleged through them, their graphic system for this.
The problem for me is
you don't want that?
It's still an arcade racer.
Oh.
So, I mean, and another thing is, I would almost bank money on Microsoft at E3 next month revealing that Forza Horizon 2 is coming this fall. I would just about bank money on it. So, I mean, and that's already had a game out, and I know it's good. So, yeah.
So aside from Project Cars, iRacing, I don't know if you'll get into that. It's PC stuff. Maybe not. I heard good things. And an upcoming Gran Turismo game. You're making it sound like if you want premier racing simulation, arcade mix, or just straight simulation, you would rather go for an Xbox One type of stuff versus Sony right now? Yeah. Even with all this information on Drive Club and everything else, just because of Forza?
Yeah, I mean, Drive Club's going to be a lot of point-to-point racing, and, a lot of the social stuff that they've teased would be cool, but, I mean, arcade-wise, you're probably going to get Forza Horizon 2, which is going to be open world, which that's something I absolutely love since Need for Speed Underground 2 came out. I mean, yeah, if it comes down to arcade racers, one or the other, I'm definitely going to go with open world over just, point-to-point racing with nothing else.
Okay.
So
let's move right along. I mean, we don't have plenty of time to talk more about E3, but we have some time before it comes out soon. So there'll be more of us talking about Sony's E3 stuff, Microsoft's E3 stuff, the Nintendo Direct, because again, Nintendo is saying, fuck E3, we're just going to do our own thing again this year. Hopefully it'll be like Year of Peach, maybe. I don't know. I think they did Year of Peach, the Year of Luigi, maybe it's like Year of Toad or Year of Yoshi. Who knows? What else? Let's talk about Diablo III Ultimate Evil Edition and its date. I'm guessing this is Diablo III plus all the DLC, right?
Yeah, it's Diablo 3 plus Reaper of Souls, that big expansion that came out for PC in March, I believe.
Okay.
So
basically this is like Collector's Edition. What's the date set for this?
That is the one thing I actually forgot to look up. And I believe it was sometime in not August, but September. Looking it up as we speak.
Okay. Feel free to subscribe to the Virtual Sports Network Arcade Radio podcast on iTunes.
It is August.
Subscribe.
August 19th, coming out. PS4, PS3, Xbox One, and 360. This is a game I've been kind of waiting for a long time. I've kind of not wanted to finish my playthrough on the PS3 version because I know I'm going to get this version to play. I can't wait to play it on the PS4 with the expansion and hopefully a couple of VSN bros.
I hear you. I've explained it multiple times. I've never really gotten into the Diablo series. I am a big fan of hack and slash games, though. Playing with multiple people is always a good, fun time. Dungeon crawling and stuff like that. Always cool. To have this game plus the Reaper Souls DLC, you don't have to worry about the auction house anymore. Any new DLC that may or may not be coming up for this stuff, it's almost like a blank slate for Diablo, for current gen, and for PC and stuff like that. Always awesome to hear stuff like that. So, to have this coming up, you said August, right?
August 19th.
Have this coming up in August, on the 19th. Soon. Not soon enough, but soon.
Yeah, it's kind of hoping for like a July.
This can fill the doldrums in the summertime when not a lot of games are going to be coming out. Like, there's going to be demos. They have the demo for Destiny that's coming out, I believe, in July.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping to fill some of my summer months with ESO, but that's not happening.
It was booty. I mean that in the nicest way possible for everybody who actually likes that game. But you're dumb. Sorry, Bomber. It's going to be one of those games that's going to fill the void. And for everybody that's waiting to play this on next gen, or current gen actually, it's going to be available. But I feel as though any game that comes out before this, people are going to be steadily sinking their teeth into these things. For games that aren't going to be 19 or not going to be 15 to 20 hours long, like long-ass RPGs, sports simulation games. I believe Madden, it's coming out August, if not September this year. So there's always that. There's going to be loads of games before Diablo, and if you're just waiting on Diablo 3, it's sitting right there. You can wait a little while. You can save up your money. You can buy the new system if it's available during the summertime. Just something to look forward to. So,
yeah, I'm incredibly excited. From everything I've heard, the Reaper of Souls expansion is very good, quality-wise.
So, something to look forward to. Okay, we mentioned Sunset Overdrive previously in this podcast. Technically, we don't have to do this one, but I'd like to. Basically, the big reason why this is on Xbox instead of on PlayStation, even though Insomniac, I believe it's Insomniac, right?
Yeah.
Even though Insomniac has basically been, Sony's beck and call with their Ratchet & Clank games, any other series that they've made for Sony for so long. Basically, the straw that broke the camel's back was Sony wanted the rights for this game. They didn't want to allow Insomniac the rights to their own game, to their new IP, because they're always thinking, like, Insomniac, go make another Ratchet & Clank game over and over and over again, until it got to the point where they're just like, we want to make something new, but we want a little piece of the pie. Sony's like, oh, if you're going to make something new for us, we want a big piece of the pie. You can have a little bit, but not the amount that you want. So Insomniac's like, all right, fine. We're just going to go multi-platform. If not, go to Xbox. Now Xbox has the brand new IP from Insomniac. It looks awesome.
It looks fantastic. They've dropped a few videos over the past week or two, and I mean, graphics wise, it looks pretty. It's very colorful. I mean, it's kind of, you got your weapons, your outrageous weapons like everybody's been accustomed to in Ratchet and Clank. Character model wise, it's not molded to be, hyper realistic. It's kind of got a cartoony feel to it, but still with that, regular 3D environment feeling. Some of the stuff gameplay wise, it reminded a lot of people on the Virtual Sports Network forums. Sign up for the forums today.
Do that.
It reminded a lot of people of the Cole powers in Infamous with the electric powers. Kind of how he was grinding over the telephone wires and stuff, which, great freaking game to copy a little gameplay stuff from. But I definitely urge you to check out the videos that they've been dropping over the past week or so, because this game looks absolutely fantastic, and as long as it's not dropping on October 7th, I will probably be there day one.
I hope it does well for them, because out or not, I really haven't heard anything about any good or any bad about it. It hasn't failed horribly. Ratchet and Clank going off to die with Into the Nexus. Not really any hype for it, and it's supposed to be the capper for the Crack in Time future Ratchet Clank Future series, and then it's just like, went out with a whimper. Fuse, holy shit, did they fuck up on Fuse, and everybody involved with that fucked up horribly. That game should have been something a lot better than what it came out to be.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely looks like a game that the Xbox One needs. I mean, obviously we're going to get Halo and Gears of War. It's a game that's just, from what we've seen so far, it looks like it's just going to be about the fun, and it's going to contrast some of their other stuff pretty well. So
yeah, this is the same company that made the Resistance series. It's like their killer app thing, and then after Resistance 3 came out, it just went out with a whimper too. They really, really, really need this to catch on the Xbox One, and I hope it does. Because if it doesn't, I don't know what the hell else Insomniac's going to do besides maybe fold. I really hope that doesn't happen, because they're an awesome company that does cool games that I like to play. But again, I haven't bought Into the Nexus because I played so many fucking Ratchet and Clank games that I was just like, eh. And Resistance I really didn't play because I found that there were actual better shooters for me to play out there that I wanted to play. Even though the Resistance series is fine and dandy, it's not what I wanted to play. And Fuse, I played the demo, and I was pretty much like, well, I played the demo, I really don't have to play this game anymore. I know what it's about. And it could have been so much better, but because EA decided they want to fuck with it, it turned into just some bullshit that everybody just ignored. Yeah. And it led to die. It basically got brained. That's what happened. You saw this new tech that came in, you had all this new stuff that you could play with, options, things like that. You could have different categories of characters, different classes, things like that. Cool stuff for multiplayer, but because something happened, whether it was because, someone got hacked the fuck, and that really ruined Brink, or in this case with Fuse, EA decided because Fuse wasn't a COD clone, that they put their fingers in the fucking pie and ruined the whole entire dessert, and we got what we got.
Nobody wants finger smushed pie.
Yeah, exactly. Unless you're the one that's smushing the pie, but that's for another day. Anyways, that's awful. I'm sorry. Okay, let's move right along before we get into final thoughts here. Apparently, there is a new GTA 5 DLC that's out this week.
And surprise, surprise,
but
what's not in it?
But But there are no heists.
Yeah, they even said that heists would be in this update.
Allegedly. Now, again, we say this on the precipice that we have not picked up our copies and try to go online to see this stuff. So on the precipice of just seeing the details and not seeing the specific words, now with heists and any PR statement for this DLC, we're thinking there's no heists. Now, if there is, feel free to correct us. We would love to see this in video or whatever, and not just some made-up bullshit that people piece together as a machinima. We don't care about that. We want to see actual proof that this has heists in it, because there's supposed to be 10 missions added onto this, as well as new machine guns, new bigger garages, new places to stay in now, as part of the apartments online, clothing, shit like that. No heists, no play. So, if there are heists, awesome. But they really needed to come out and say, top line of the PR statement on this, now with heists, and then everything else is secondary. But because they wanted to play coy and hide under their whole, we happen to have 10 new missions. If the heists are happen to be on the 10 new missions, you need to fucking say that, because that's what everybody's been waiting on forever since this game's come out. Now nobody's playing this. And like we said before, this stuff is supposed to be up-res for next-gen and PC, allegedly. And if it's not, you better hope that there's fucking heists on this DLC, or else everybody's just going to leave. Online's a ghost town, unless you want to play with assholes. Nobody wants to play with assholes on GTA 5. So, I don't know. That's my opinion. I have way too many opinions on this stuff. How about you, Swarley?
At this point, I don't even care about online anymore.
Even with heists?
Heists was the big, thing they touted about GTA Online, and we are, 6 months? No, we're more than 6 months. 8 months after release, and there's nothing there.
This game came out in September, right?
I just don't care. Yeah.
I don't know. I hope big things, but if there are heists and we just haven't seen them yet,
well, it came out. It came out today,
center.
So I imagine if there was, we would have heard something.
I'm highly disappointed in Rockstar, because GTA 5, I'm not bagging on the single player. Single player experience is nigh perfect for me. I love playing single player on that. I tried to play it again. It's kind of harder to get back into it, to do a repeat playthrough or to clean up on certain things. Kind of hard. The online portion, they fucked up horribly again. I don't know how, but they did. It's terrible. And just glad-handing and giving us freebies and things like that, that's awesome, but that's all cosmetics. It's not the meat that we wanted. We got fucking broccoli. Broccoli sucks. So,
Broccoli's awesome, man. If it's steamed.
Yeah, we got fucking frozen broccoli that was microwaved.
Okay. But
still broccoli, that's garbage.
There's only so much money grinding and races and crap like that I can do. I just don't care anymore. The only thing that's gonna get me to pick up the game again on my PlayStation 3 is if they give me a single player expansion like they did back with GTA 4. That's what I want. At this point, whatever they throw out for GTA Online, I'm not gonna play it.
Since we're done with the news here, I think we're done with the news.
Yep.
Done with the news. We're gonna wrap it up with final thoughts. Swarley has a special announcement. Take it away, Swarley.
I do. Oh yeah, I do.
Go ahead.
Man, it's kind of sneaking up on me, but this weekend...
Give him a date.
The date is, let me count it out, 16th?
So the 16th this month?
17th.
17th this month?
May 17th.
May 17th.
This weekend, I will be doing a 24-hour marathon on my Twitch channel for the 8-Bit Salute, and that will be in conjunction with my fellow coworkers at Gamer Assault Weekly. You can find me playing Infamous Second Son. I'll be doing a full Evil playthrough. I'll be playing the Outlast Whistleblower DLC. I'll play some Child of Light. And I'll probably even stick some MLB 14 The Show in there as well. Continue my Road to the Show character. I assume that is going to fill up enough time. But if not, there's a couple other things I could play. But yeah, this Saturday I will probably go live about 11 a.m. Eastern. So, playing most of the day Saturday into the night and into Sunday morning. So, if you guys want to stop by, check it out, maybe donate for 8-Bit Salute. My Twitch channel is no, there is no www. Twitch.tv/Swarley133.
Can you spell that, please?
What?
Spell Swarley, just in case people need to type it up.
Well, if you haven't watched How I Met Your Mother, shame on you. But it's it's Swarley.
There you go. Swarley133. Follow him on what day one more time?
Saturday the 17th.
At what time?
11 a.m. Eastern.
There you go. Follow him. Please donate. They need help. So it's for a good cause. We don't need your money. They do. So go give. You have it. Cough it up, man. Okay. That's right that you are going to do that.
I'm excited for another 24-hour stream. Last
you
one
going to have special fans on your PlayStation 4?
What?
You going to have a special fan on your PlayStation 4, or are you well ventilated?
It should be well ventilated.
Cool.
But yeah, some other stuffs. I caught an episode of Louie last night. Never watched the show. I dig it. I'm gonna watch it. I've got seasons 1 through 3 ready to go, and I'm gonna start watching that show.
I can definitely tell you from experience watching certain episodes, like it's if you know who Louis is and how this is based off of like a hyper-realized account of his actual life, him being a parent, him dating in his 40s, him living as a New Yorker in a shitty apartment, him as a comedian and his comedian friends, stuff like that. Just different accounts of his life. It's always awesome to see a semi-biographical account of him as he does this. And it's all by him. It's not some studio. Like, FX is like, okay, Louis, do your own series. If it gets super popular, we're going to pick it up. And he's done stuff that isn't just him sitting in his apartment. Like, he's gone overseas to, I believe, Afghanistan to do a stand-up bit in front of troops. And that was recorded as part of the show. But really, he did stand up in front of the troops. He went to fucking China and did a story in China based off of New Year for that. And him and his whole account of he didn't want to hang out with his family, so he just basically hung out with the Chinese family in China. That was pretty cool to see. He's got multiple guests on there. I think he's had Mark Maron on there. He's had Seinfeld on there, which is pretty cool. And he takes his time when he does his stuff. It's never rushed. It's always perfectly constructed, produced, acted in. You can't go wrong with Louis. Just know that it gets sometimes super fucking dark.
My body's ready.
Yeah, it's adult comedy, like adult-ass comedy. It's not just, they, do a couple poop jokes and curse. It makes you think, and it makes you tear up a little bit. Just saying. No warning. Anyways, go watch Louis.
Speaking of TV shows, I'm excited for tonight because I've got last night's 24 DVR'd, and then I've got the second to last and last episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to watch. It's going to be a glorious night.
Awesome.
And my final thought, I think I'm going to dip my toe.
Just your toe?
Into an MMO, just my toe, at the start. And I think, ESO got delayed 6 months for consoles, so I'm pretty sure, and I keep hearing great things, especially from my GA coworkers. There are quite a few of them who are into this, but I'm going to go with Final Fantasy XIV.
Sounds pretty right.
And, and speaking of, last night, before I headed off to the movie theaters, I tweeted Bomber. I was like, do you still play this game on PS4? And I'd kind of like to hear your thoughts about it. And a few minutes later, he favorited my tweet, but then he never said anything to me.
Oh, it's because you had a topic of a favorite thing he likes, but you didn't explain it to him specifically. Hey, I need your help.
Oh, I said I'd like to hear your thoughts on this game.
Because I'm giving you a thumbs up.
And I'm like, what are you doing, Bomber? Tell me some shit about this game. So, yeah, I may go pick it up sometime this week. I don't know.
As a long-suffering Blazers fan, with his team about to be outs, kicked out of the playoffs, is basically all he has until the Seahawks play in September. So, maybe some baseball, I don't know. I don't know if the Giants are doing any good. But, yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing more about Final Fantasy XIV. I, myself, am not picking it up because of the membership fees that you have to pay monthly.
I mean, it's $40 at start for the game itself, and I get 30 days for free. So I figured that's good enough for me. I think if I want to play it, I'll pay here and there, because I'm not going to be playing this continuously, because I like to play all the games that come out. But 30 days, that's a good enough start. See if I want to continue.
Yeah, my main beef with the MMOs like this is they expect you to pay full price for a full price game plus a membership cost. Now, if this is a game that you fully plan on investing all your time into, it's money well spent. But if it's just something that you offhandedly buy and then you just put away into your collection and forget about, it's a waste of money, in my opinion. Because you're not keeping up to date with all the different patches, bug fixes, DLC, stuff like that. Like, I really got into Defiance when they were putting out their MMO on PlayStation 3. I quote-unquote beat the main storyline. There's still a lot of side missions and stuff to do, but I waited so long for the DLC to happen. And I got the Season Pass. I waited so long for the DLC to happen, and it finally came out, but by that time there was barely anybody playing, including myself, and it just wasn't worth it to me. And it was just a big waste of money and time. So, I don't know. That's just me, but whatever. Okay, let's see. My final thoughts. I'm proud of Swarley doing his 24-hour stream. It's a good deal. So, doing good things for the community and for those in need. I'm saying over and over again, I do stream myself. Twitch.tv/JayDizzle, JayDizzle, all lowercase, by the way, 04. Stream schedule, I stream some Bound by Flame. Tonight I'm going to stream some Trials Fusion after I take a little break after we're done recording this. And then I'll be ready on that, a little bit late, but I'm still doing it. Wednesday, Trial to Play. Thursday, doing a little bit of Road to the Show on MLB 14 the show. Friday's going to be Battlefield 4, COD Ghosts night, probably Battlefield 4 mostly. Saturday and Sunday, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing other than watching Swarley. So, yeah. Follow us both on Twitch. Check us out. Follow other people on Twitch that are under our links under our pages. I think I have Teflon Donnie, Padman, Handle, my buddy Vermilion, Nub, Primetime, Albinus, Point Blank, Mr. Bill, Gangster E, Kill Guy, Crispy, Bomber himself, and Quiet Storm. They all stream. I have like a humongous list of links underneath my Twitch page. You can click on those, follow them as well. Check them out. All quality streamers. I'm okay. Swarley's better. We're all interactive with our chats. Even if we're not on cam, we do talk to people in our streams. So check us out. Give us a follow. Hang out with us. Talk. Enjoy the games that we show off. So other than that, final thoughts. Yeah. This has been fun. I'm looking forward to it because we've been away for a couple weeks. So we need to get back on that horse, Swarley.
Oh, and speaking of, in our next episode, we'll be doing a review/comparison of Daylight and the Outcast Whistleblower DLC, as well as a lovely review of Bound by Flame by our lovely host.
Not that lovely.
Semi-lovely.
Thank you. Okay, alright. Well, let's wrap it up with shout-outs. Got any shout-outs?
Oh, everybody who played Battlefield the other night, and all my Forza League guys.
Apex Racing League, right?
Apex Racing League.
Okay.
I think, I suppose that'll be it for this edition.
Okay. Well, before we wrap this whole shebang-a-bang up, episode 94 of the VSN Arcade Radio podcast brought to you by virtualsportsnetwork.com. Sign up for the forums today. Also follow all of us at capitalized letters VSN capitalized G in gaming. That's VSN Gaming on the Twitter. Follow that so you'll be able to get updates on us when we do our next podcast and ins and outs on VSN. What else? Thank you, fair listeners. Been waiting this long for us to put out another podcast. I know it's been arduous. I know it's been long and long. I know that's been pretty shitty of us to have been waiting this long until we do a podcast, but stuff happens. Real life happens. Sorry. But we promise we'll be doing another podcast soon. If not this week, next week. Again, Swarley talked about how we're going to be doing stuff with Daylight and Whistleblower DLC. Talking about what were we talking about the next one? Sorry.
What?
What's the next one we were talking about?
Bound by Flame.
Bound by Flame as well. Doing more of that stuff. Cool stuff for you to listen to that I know you're all going to enjoy. Again, thank you for listening. Appreciate it. Thank you to all the new subscribers on our iTunes page. Those of you who rate us 5 stars, we do appreciate it. We want more people to do that, please. Put out the word. I mean, we put out 94 of these podcasts, and we're getting at least 20-ish people, depending on a good day, and if the rain is not showing its face. Put the word out on this podcast. Share with a friend. Check out old podcasts done by us. Our backlog is immense. There's not just us doing this. Our friend Nub, Mr. I Am Medellin, recently graduated. Good job, man. Appreciate it. All your hard work. And good luck with things in the future for you and the workforce. Bomber helped us out. We know what he does, besides being a jerk. He who should not be named, Mr. Twig himself. Mrs. Twig.
You just named him.
I know. Thank you for allowing me to play with you both on Borderlands 2. Been waiting to do that for a long time with somebody, so I appreciate you allowing me to play with you guys. Mr. Handle It, Padman, everybody else at Point Blank, anybody else that's been playing with us lately on Battlefield 4, especially this past weekend, thank you for your contributions as to allowing me to play on the other team and just completely annihilate you guys. I look forward to doing it some more. What else? Everybody at virtualsportsnetwork.com will allow us to do this. Mr. Bill, Tomas, I believe, Tomasis, Moosis, you know who you are. Yeah. Thank you for allowing us to do this. Looking forward to the next one, guys. So without further ado, this is Virtual Sports Network Arcade Radio Podcast number 94. And we're out. Say goodbye, Swarley.
Smooches.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Looking forward to the next one. Peace out.